The Legend of Zelda and Super Mario are two video games that defined my childhood. I was born in the early 2000s and I grew up on 1990s home consoles. It wasn't until around 2011 that I was exposed to games like New Super Mario Bros. Wii, The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, and Super Smash Bros. And those games led me to some YouTubers that I still watch now. The point I'm trying to make is that without these two game series, I would never have gotten into video games or YouTube as a whole. Today, I want to look at one specific game. The one specific game in the whole Zelda series that made me fall in love with video games. But this video won't be praising the game for its music, level design, or bosses. No. Instead, I'm going to be dissecting every little piece of the game's story and find sins in the level design, enemies, and above all, this is the game that changed Zelda completely in its timeline. Happy 20th birthday, Ocarina of Time, because today I'm covering you. Also, I want to give a brief shout out, thank you to my friend Daily Readings for doing the majority of the research on this video, and he will be co-hosting the video alongside with me. There are three types of fairies in Ocarina of Time. Guardian fairies only appear in Ocarina of Time to introduce the mechanic of Z-targeting for the first time in the Legend of Zelda series. There are also regular fairies that heal the player or revive the player, and there are 6 great fairies which heal Link and give him upgrades such as the Magic Meter, Stronger Defense, Din's Fire, Farore's Wind, and Nehru's Love. I've stated in almost all my Sins in Video Games episodes that magic is a sin, and the verse I always turn back to is Deuteronomy chapter 18, verse 11 through 12. Anyone who casts spells or is a medium or spiritist, or who consults the dead, anyone who does these things is detestable to the Lord, and because of these detestable practices, the Lord your God will drive out the other nations before you.
Fairies originate from Irish folklore. In said folklore, fairies are magical creatures that are too good for hell, but not good enough for heaven, and they are most known to take forms that are more appealing and play tricks on people. That does suit the design of great fairies, and the design of regular fairies were originally going to take. In John 1, chapter 4, it says, "Beloved, do not trust every spirit, but test the spirits to see whether they belong to God, because many false prophets have gone out into the world." As for the part of them taking forms that are more appealing, the 2 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 4 says, "For even Satan masquerades as an angel of light." Kurffy mentioned that some of the great fairies give the player with Din's Fire, Farore's Wind, and Nehru's Love. These 3 are the creators of the universe in the Zelda series, otherwise known as the 3 golden goddesses.
That's right, the Great Decretary says that Din cultivated the land and created the Red Earth. Nehru poured her wisdom onto the earth and gave the spirit of law to the world, and Farore produced all life forms who would uphold the law.
These goddesses slightly mirror the Holy Trinity which shaped the world. The Father created the earth, the Holy Spirit brought life and light to the world, and the Son helped shape the world. This goes against one of the 10 commandments in Exodus chapter 20 verse 3. "You shall not have other gods besides me."
The idea of reincarnation is absurd, as after death, the person who is destined to die will be judged. No matter the outcome, they won't return. In the Zelda series, Link and Zelda are cursed to be reincarnated alongside the Demon King's hatred in a never-ending battle for Hyrule. Though he is a demon, no one has the power to break the date of judgment for a person, and putting a reincarnation cycle is something that is not supported as it is not needed. In the Buddhist religion, reincarnation is a punishment for the soul not gaining enough karma. However, as Jesus says, those who look back are not worthy of heaven. The possibility of demons being able to reincarnate is impossible, unless the person's soul has been taken. Through glimpses seen of people who saw hell, there are people stuck in an endless loop of torture and misery. They are maimed until death and return to their previous state. This could be a figure used to show reincarnation and explain reasons as to why Link and Zelda are falling victim to this.
To clarify, reincarnation is the idea in which the soul of a person leaves the vessel but moves on to another instead of ascending. In a verse found, Hebrews chapter 9 verse 27 says, "Just as it is appointed that human beings die once, and after this is the judgment." Nabooru, who later becomes a sage of the spirit, tells Link to find the silver gauntlets in the spirit temple. She'd do something great for him in return, she said. When Nabooru does awaken as a sage, she tells Link, "If only I'd known you'd become such a handsome man, I should have kept the promise that I made back then." This implies sex before marriage, and if you know how the Gerudo tribe behave, they are a tribe of only women with one male born every 100 years. They go to the castle town to look for boyfriends, and in some cases they kidnap men, due to no men in the Gerudo Valley except the king. The Gerudo are supposed to be similar to the Amazons, who in Greek culture did a similar thing. Here are the verses having to do with sex before marriage. Hebrews chapter 13 verse 4. Marriage should be honored by all, and the marriage bed kept pure, for God will judge the adulterer and the sexually immoral. Corinthians 1 chapter 6 verses 18 through 20 tells us, flee from sexual immorality. All other sins a person commits are outside the body, but whoever sins sexually sins against their own body. Do you not know that your bodies are the temples of the Holy Spirit who is in you, whom you have received from God? You are not your own. You were bought at a price. Therefore honor God with your bodies. Thessalonians 1 chapter 4 verses 3 through 8 tells us, it is God's will that you should be sanctified, that you should avoid sexual immorality, that each one of you should learn to control your own body in a way that is holy and honorable, not in a passionate lust like the pagans who do not know God, and that in this matter no one should commit wrong or take advantage of a brother or sister. The Lord will punish all those who commit such sins, as we told you and warned you before, for God did not call us to be impure, but to live a holy life. Therefore anyone who rejects this instruction does not reject a human being, but God, the very God who gives you his Holy Spirit. The final thing in our list is beast form Ganon. In the delicate cases of Satanism versus Christianity, there have always been symbols that rival each other. In Christianity, the savior or divine sacrifice is represented as a white lamb, pure in every way, while in Satanism they represent the devil as a ram, which uses brute force to get its way.
How's it going, crewmates? This is the end of the video. I wanted to give a brief thank you to my friend Daily Readings for helping me do the research for this video. He did a lot of the work. Please go subscribe to his channel. Also, I want to say that I am moving my content of Sins in Video Games to another channel that me and Daily Readings are going to be working on together. Link in description to that below. And the reason for this is because I want to level out both of my viewers, because I have two viewer types. I have people who come here or used to come here for like theories, speculations, opinions, stuff like that, and I kind of want to bring that stuff back. And Sins in Video Games and my Christian content, I'm still gonna have the playlists here, so you can come to this channel if you want to see the updates of my testimonies and Sins in Video Games. There's still gonna be linked playlists on the home page of my channel. So yeah, that's about it. Thank you all so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel, Daily Readings, and our new channel, Catholic Plays. Oh, and before I forget, the 1-year anniversary of Sins in Video Games is August 27th. Depending on when this video is going to be uploaded, the date already passed, or hopefully it's on the actual day. Thank you all for a year of watching this stuff.